Welcome to r/agedlikemilk, where MAGA does not stand the test of time. I really wish that this had instead aged like wine. Trump is not immune from prosecution, duh. Never mind. Trump is immune. We're fucked. What will Democrats do to distract the people from the price of eggs? And 2 years later, I'd pay $25 an egg to save trillions. Is this a double aged like milk? I don't know about you, but last time I checked, MAGA hasn't been saving trillions with their big, beautiful bill. The national debt has in fact increased by trillions. Your grandchildren will be paying higher taxes and suffer for this. Voting for a politician in a political party actually has long-lasting consequences, and it's not just a football game? Oh no, who could have thought? Are you paying attention yet? The DOJ and Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers have made a deal that her little black book of contacts will never be made public. What possible interest would the US government have in keeping Epstein's clients secret? Oh, has MAGA got anything to hide? Oh no, of course not. I'll never question you, dear leaders, again. Epstein never had a client list. I don't know what you're talking about. 2 + 2 = 5 after all. And all of this seems to only matter under the Democrats. In 22 years, our national debt went from $5 trillion to $32 trillion. What's happening to the next generation is irresponsible. And when they're finally in power, what do they do to stop spending? More spending. Yeah, that totally makes sense. It was bumpy, but we got it done. The one big beautiful bill has passed the Senate. Yeah, she's 100% lying about something. But MAGA does that all the time, so is any of this really surprising? Pam Bondi in February. The Epstein client list is sitting on my desk right now to review. And Pam Bondi today. Never mind. There is no Epstein client list, and no further disclosure of Epstein-related material would be appropriate or warranted. What, because Trump and your MAGA leeches run it? Yeah, I really can tell with the hundreds and hundreds of photos of Trump and Epstein together. In other words, the list would implicate a certain someone, so we no longer want to release it. Then why not just lie about it is the real question. Just edit Trump's name out for Christ's sake, or for that matter, just make up a new list whole cloth. Say every Democrat has been there 20 times. Like, come on, who gives a shit at this point? People will just believe whatever they want to be true. See, making a whole new list that's just fabricated names would be too much effort for MAGA. And they don't have the brainpower to do anything besides saying, you know the thing we've been yammering on for like years and years? It doesn't exist anymore, but we never said it did, right? Trump not being on it would be the real surprise. They want to only be told what they want to hear. Well, once again, cat turds in another video of mine. I want to make a video specifically on these MAGA shills. Crack is worth the price of premium alone. It amazes me what we're able to do with AI on this platform. Memes are like a Pixar movie, lol. Never mind. Crack is woke and full of shit. What the fuck is happening to eggs? You know, it could never mean that, like, we're wrong on at least one thing ever. Their shock that reality doesn't align with their beliefs, always so entertaining. Like Wile E. Coyote, they never see that cliff coming. I really feel like they're hovering over the cliff at all times, and moments like these are when they look down. Except, of course, they hold up a little sign that says, "Woke." He just can't wait to clean up DC. JD Vance, I can't wait to clean up DC by releasing the Epstein client list. So him suggesting that the client list has politicians on it, and then him looking through the client list, and then not wanting to release it certainly gives me the signals of all time, doesn't it? As always, our favourite phrase on this channel, every accusation is a confession. Conservatives made paedophilia a part of American political discourse, and of course, it's just them all the fucking time. Honestly, how do we get out of this hellhole? That's something I'm really curious about. If are these Democrat politicians on the client list? Even if Trump and all that were on. I don't know about you, but I would be pretty sure that they would be parading those names around, even if they redact Trump's. So, what's the deal, huh? Hey chat, if your takes didn't age like milk, you should totally support this gay guy reading stuff by pressing the subscribe button and sharing, pretty please. Cause it helps a lot and makes me happy. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day or night, and back to the video. You're telling me a liar would lie? Benny Johnson, February 2025. So, you said that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. So why is the FBI protecting the largest scale pedo ring in human history? Kash Patel. Simple, because who's on that list? Is Patel admitting that the FBI is suppressing this info because of who's on that list? Because that's a hell of an admission. He wrote a book with Trump being a king. The US has no credibility under this dictator. Whoa, that's really shocking news. What are you gonna tell me next? That water's wet? Their leader says he'll release the Epstein client list if elected. The Democrat elites are shaking right now. God, they're shaking in their boots, aren't they? Their shivers are really timbered. Guess the list got lost with those healthcare and tax returns he promised to release too. Some things never change. The White House must be so cluttered that these things just kinda disappear. To be fair, the EO ordering all classified documents to be moved to the Mar-a-Lago resort bathroom has really mixed up the records department. From left, Ryan O'Hanley, Che Rashik, Scott Presler, Liz Wheeler, and Chad Prather carry binders labelled The Epstein Files, Phase 1, as they walk out the West Wing of the White House on Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Either the binders were empty or they burned them. MAGA is having real trouble facing the reality that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein Files. No, they aren't. They're physically incapable of experiencing cognitive dissonance. The new truth has already been accepted. I'm sure they'll come around to complain about it once Democrats are back in power. But for now, it's case closed. This is why it's best not to lie. Not this guy. Okay, you've seen Cat Turd, you've seen Laura Lumi Luna, and you've seen Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, all of those guys. But none of them give me a headache as much as this absolute brainlet. He is arguably the king of MAGA slop. And I'm honestly surprised at myself for not mentioning him in my videos up until now. The Zillow and Matt Wallace beef will go on forever. I just saw the leaked Epstein files. Get ready for the world to change tomorrow. And like 150 tomorrows later. Why is the Trump administration pretending the Epstein client list doesn't exist? Crazy that this dude saw it and Pam Bondi had it on her desk. And now it doesn't exist and no one can remember any specifics of what they saw on it when they had it. I can't stand is reporters and journalists not bringing this up. Gay Guy Reading Stuff is doing a better job, so you should totally subscribe, pretty please. When a journalist is questioning Pam, why don't they say something like, "So you claimed you had it on your desk. What happened to that? Did you lose it, or were you lying?" I can't stand that, but I also can't stand that Pam is just ignoring things that are asked of her. There's no actual accountability anymore, and anyone in the room asking tough questions gets thrown out anyway. Remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child trafficking ring? And then that guy died mysteriously in jail, and now we just don't talk about it? JD Vance now. And now we just don't talk about it. What's wrong, JD? You were awfully vocal about the Epstein client list that was, according to you, there for years upon years, being hidden by the Dems. So, now you're in power. Where is it, huh? Trolling and deathly disasters. It's the MAGA way. Musk trolls critics. I've said before, I don't think anyone in government should be trolling people and federal workers as Doge targets US agencies. Posted on X nearly 200 times over 24 hours, according to an ABC News review. Talk about being terminally online, Jesus. Officials say warnings have been issued, but a lack of alert system left many unprepared for a flood. Can't believe that the Democrats, who aren't in power and also can't do anything where they are, manipulated the weather and caused a flood just because Texas is a red state. All without our eagle-eyed Republican administration, Congress, and Senate noticing a single thing. Shaking my head. The evil left knows no bounds. Whoa. Hey, Soros is very powerful. Even more powerful than, dare I mention the deity's name? Shall I take the Lord's name in vain? Trump. That's blasphemy right there. No one's more powerful than Trump. Crooked Hillary Clinton and her team were extremely careless in their handling of sensitive, highly classified information. Not fit. Wow, this aged really well, didn't it? I wonder what this could be referring to in this day and age. Breath, the Epstein Files, the other leaks about the Iran situation. It's a political raffle of various scandals that happen like a couple of weeks between each other. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means. I guess he's changed his mind? Duh, Elon has always been a liar. He's lied about every Tesla release and pretty much every tweet. Speaking of, when's the 2020 Tesla Roadster coming out? 2030? 2040? Come on, how old can a 2020 edition become? At first, people chalked it up to normal delays, as I did, but after he went nuts, you can look back and just see how he's pathological. It is so crazy how people still simp for him and think he's smart. It's because the idea of his genius was widespread. The debunking of his genius wasn't. It's the same reason why people still, to this day, spread old wives' tales that have been long since debunked. Easier for misinformation to spread than for misinformation to be corrected. What a shocker. Far-right Islamophobes aren't much friendlier towards gay people either. I hope leftists will soon realize what will happen if Muslims become a majority in the West. Perhaps those borders you hate so much have already saved your life without knowing. And how's being a far-right Islamophobe contributing to the LGBTQ community? Oh, wait, it's bullshit? Who'd have seen that coming? Nigel Farage labels same-sex marriage law wrong. I thought it was wrong to introduce it. As a British guy, I fucking hate Nigel Farage. And Reform's whole policy is privatize everything and close up the borders. Because that's gone so well in the past, hasn't it? But hey, what happens when they've been governing local councils? Oh, what's that? They go bankrupt? God, who'd have thought? It turns out that the far right are the exact same people regardless of the culture they come from. Funnily enough, the far right party in my country, Thailand, did vote for same-sex marriage laws, as homosexuality isn't considered a sin in Buddhism. but they still suck anyway. I get the odd comment of people going, "So you're a gay guy and support Muslims running Western countries and immigrating?" Yeah. Because here's a shocker for some of you, I don't judge someone based off of their religious beliefs, but how they apply it to their beliefs and day-to-day life. Because here's a shocker, yes, some Muslims are homophobic, but so are Christians. Some Muslims are not homophobic, so are Christians. Same with every other religion. So just because that religion isn't Christianity doesn't make a difference to me. Under a post talking about climate change. What heatwave? Laughing crying emoji. Definitely not where I live. Coolest summer in years in Texas, and thrilled with the rains. We've been hoping for a small hurricane, but this is great. Are we really still doing the argument of global warming equals temperature going up? Whatever. Whichever way the wind blows, I guess. I'm clearly not a MAGA Republican. One-on-one with Senator Lisa Murkowski. This interview is just 94 minutes of her trying to say, "I'm totally different, trust me. I'm not like other MAGA." Like before, she folded to help Alaska, even though this screws everyone, including Alaska. I guess this fact check aged like milk, over and over and over again. Fact check. President Trump, dear leader Trump, will always protect Social Security and Medicare. The Trump regime will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits. President Trump has said it over and over and over again. Elon Musk didn't say that either. The press is lying again. Only took 10 hours for this one to go bad. Only if. Breaking news, GOP Congressman Thomas Massie says he has enough votes to block Trump's made a bitch by a billionaire bill in the House. If you were counting on Republicans to do the right thing and or vote based upon their stated principles, then you haven't been paying attention for decades. No similarity? Is ICE becoming Trump's SS? 8 years ago. Dear God, no one can tell me that there wasn't any signs. No, there is no similarity between the two. The SS was a political organization formed to protect Hitler, and became political enforcement. Okay, even if you technically say ICE isn't Trump's SS, it's still more like a Gestapo or an NKVD. But regardless, it's still a highly funded internal policing force that picks people up in unmarked vans and then throws them into tiny, inhumane cells. You can come to your own conclusions with that, but we've got our own opinions. Anyway, chat, over to the comments section. Let's have a look at some of the previous comments I've had on some of my videos. If I had $1 for every time a Republican politician lied, I would probably have enough money to buy their next lie. About the golf thing. This was me mentioning how much money he spent on golf. While serving in the army as an EOD technician, thank you for your service. We would occasionally be tasked to provide presidential security. The Secret Service uses the military's bomb squads for that. What I found out was that the president is required to personally pay for all non-official travel, including security costs, the cost to operate Air Force One, etc. So Trump is supposed to pay all the expenses for those golf trips. But here's where it gets sleazy. What happens is the president will schedule some official function, giving a speech at a defense plant or a tire store or whatever. Something that takes like an hour of their time. Now this whole trip is official, and taxpayers foot the bill. I saw both Democrat and Republican presidents do this. Give a quick speech or visit so the taxpayers had to pay for them to attend fundraising parties. This is what Trump is doing. He's flying to Florida every weekend for some semi-fictitious official function so he can play golf. This is the very definition of fraud, waste, and abuse. I looked into Trump's claim about him donating his salary from his first term. Yeah, he specifically donated it to government agencies that are legally required to return all donations. So he got his salary back the same day he donated it. Wow, so he pissed into the wind? No shock there. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, the US Embassy in Poland announced that it is a requirement to set your social media to public before getting a visa. A post about it on Facebook had 10,000 people laughing about how stupid this requirement is and how low the US fell. Oh, well, yeah, it's the land of the free, but you need to put your social media to public so we can scrape it for any cognitive dissonance that goes against the best interests of the regime.